Hi, I'd like to welcome you to week one of the St. Aidan's Institute course on the Book of Common Prayer. Online education has taught us that long, rambling video lectures by instructors are not paid attention to by students. So we don't do hour-long talks here. I just give short 5 to 10 minute videos each week that try to introduce what it is we're focused on this week, and a little bit more background on it and why it matters. As we begin this particular study, we're trying to get an understanding not only of what the Book of Common Prayer is, but get an understanding of its history, its structure, how it's used in liturgy, what is it that makes it such a distinctive quality of what it means to be Anglican, and then questions about the future and what we can anticipate to see in the Anglican Church of North America, as well as globally, as the prayer book continues to be refined in different provinces. So as we begin the first week, there's two kind of real fundamental questions we're asking. The first centers on why the prayer book was created in the first place. When we look at the Continental Reformation in Europe, Martin Luther had some very specific issues he was railing against in the Roman Church, and a lot of it reflected his personal journey, his personal interests, and then the same happened with John Calvin. In his work in France and then later in Geneva, a lot of what he was doing was trying to build what he idealized as the best possible form of Christianity that could be had in this world. And both those reformations reflected their founders so distinctly that they bear their names. We talk about Calvinists, we talk about Lutherans, but if Thomas Cranmer is the creator of the Book of Common Prayer and the leader of the English Reformation, why are we not called Cramerites or Cramerians? We don't associate him with the founding of Anglicanism, and understanding why that's the case is very, very important. And so our first question this week centers on what was driving him, what was driving the early English reformers, what did they see their role as, and what did they see the function of the prayer book to be for the Church of England as it separated from Rome. It's a very deep question, and there's a lot of different layers to it. So you want to take some time and just go beyond the obvious and wrestle with that a little bit. Then the second question centers on liturgy. Anglicans will argue that our systematic theology is not going to be in the writings of its founders. Calvinists will always tell you to go back to the Institutes of the Christian Religion written by John Calvin. Lutherans will always tell you to go back to the writings of Luther. But Anglicans have always argued that if you want to understand our systematics, all you have to do is read the Book of Common Prayer. Because how we worship is what we believe, or what we believe is expressed in how we worship. And so it raises questions about what is worship, what is liturgy. Obviously our liturgy is one of the distinctive attributes of Anglicanism. It really separates us from Protestants and to a lesser extent from the Romans. So what is it? How do we understand it? And why is it so central to our identity as a sect within Christianity? So those are the two questions for this week. If you're new to the Blackboard online classroom, don't hesitate to email me or call me. You've got my contact information. I'm more than happy to help you navigate your way through. And if you're finding it a little bit confusing, I can promise you by the end of this week, if not at the latest next week, you'll have no trouble navigating the classroom. It's a pretty straightforward construct and should be easy to use and not get in the way of your work. So wrestle this week with how we began, what it means to have a Book of Common Prayer, what liturgy is, and I will see you in the classroom. God bless you and have a great week.